Hi, I'm Sandra Wilson, and I thought I would pop on for a short video today explaining a little bit about how I work, because I am often asked. And if you have been looking for help with misophonia, you might be wondering what I actually do in my sessions, particularly because there isn't one single recognised treatment that works for everybody. And I thought I would just explain my approach pretty simply. So I am a clinical hypnotherapist, as I've said, and I specialise in working with people who experience misophonia and extreme reactions to sound. And the first thing I should say is I do not try to convince you that the sounds should not bother you. And because if somebody is chewing, if you can hear somebody breathing or coughing, if you can hear that dog barking or the neighbours making a noise, and that sends your body into an immediate state of anger, panic or distress, you probably already know logically you do not want to react that way. And the problem is that your reaction is happening a lot faster than logic. And I'm interested in what your nervous system has learned to do in response to that trigger. So we start by really understanding your misophonia, because everybody is different, and in a little bit more detail, what is your trigger? What happens in your body? What thoughts and emotions accompany the trigger? And has your brain started to anticipate the sound before it even happens? And what else might be maintaining that response? What's driving it? What stories do you tell yourself when you hear the sound? And sometimes the things that crop up around hypervigilance can be very interesting. Stress, feeling trapped, losing control, a feeling of helplessness, and maybe even old trauma. Because two people can be triggered by exactly the same noise for very different reasons. And from there, I help you to learn ways of regulating your nervous system so that you have more ability to bring yourself back down when the automatic fight or flight response kicks in, and then we work at a much deeper level. I use hypnotherapy primarily to help you open up your awareness and bring the subconscious, some of what you may have forgotten that perhaps you don't even know about that could be relevant. Sometimes there really are past experiences that are relevant, and we can work with those too. Our beliefs, our values, all of it can be examined with compassion in my practice, but I don't assume that everybody with misophonia has trauma, because they don't. And something else that's really important to me, I'm not going to deliberately expose you to horrible trigger sounds and expect you to sit there and tolerate them. This is not what it's about at all. This is not about learning to love the sounds that you hate. It's not about curing misophonia either. What we're working toward is something a little more realistic, less intensity, less anticipation, quicker recovery, and more freedom in your life to do the things you want to do that maybe you have been avoiding because you are so afraid of being triggered. Maybe you can now eat with your partner, perhaps even sleep in the same bed. Maybe your neighbour makes a noise and it doesn't ruin the next 3 hours. Perhaps you don't jump onto Rightmove looking for a new home. Or maybe you still notice the trigger, but it doesn't have the same power over you. That is how I work. That is how I can help you. So if you've been trying to manage your misophonia on your own and you'd like to explore whether my approach may be right for you, you'll find the details about working with me in a link that I'm going to pop below, or you're very, very welcome to message me directly. And I hope you found that helpful. Thank you, and I'll be back with more content another day.